Man, a lot of things have changed.
Wow, so much change. If you're just tuning in, this is like a whole different podcast.
It's like crazy. So, if you're looking,
yeah.
One, setting is different. I think we've recorded at my house one other time.
Yeah.
And we tried to do it on the dining room table. Our mic stands wouldn't connect because of the little lip on the thing. Remember that?
Yeah, we held it.
Yeah.
We were talking about the Pope.
It was bad. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We were talking about the Pope. I never remember what
I think so. Like they had the new Pope. Pope Frankie was in, or he gave a ruling or something. I don't know what the deal was.
So we've been bashing Catholics for a long time.
It's not new.
Is what you're saying. Something else is different.
Man, I honestly, it's like an imposter sitting next to me.
Yeah. We normally do banter at the end, but it's like you can't, if you're watching the video, it kind of has to be addressed. But we had our first costume hair and makeup. And part of that hair for Annie was that
lack of hair.
Warbucks is clean shaven.
Man.
So Jill just loves this look on me. Yeah. There's times I look at it and I go, oh, that's not too bad. And the times I'm like, oh, get that out of here.
I just can't. I don't associate you as the same person. It's like it's like perplexing.
Well, you know what? My phone doesn't either. It'll say swipe up or enter your code for face, and I'll look at it and it's like I'm not opening for that face, so I'll have to.
I'm with Paul. I am perplexed, but not driven to despair right yet. So just perplexed. 2 Corinthians 4. There you go.
There we go. I mean, I'm surprised you had that memorized. That one of those.
Tim talked about it in Sunday school today, so it's on my mind. Yeah.
All right. Oh man. So we had previously recorded, and that episode will still air. I think it will air July 16th.
Okay.
If my calculations are correct. So when July 16th hits, you'll hear a response to some of the feedback we got on the cults.
Nice,
some of our shorts. So that's already recorded. We did that before we left for Arkansas. But the last two of our government panels aired while we were, headed to Arkansas and in Arkansas. And you were just hanging out here, though.
Yeah.
Right? You didn't go anywhere. Oh, no, y'all went to Florida.
We went to Florida. Yeah.
And I was listening to those. I was like, we should probably do.
I like that. Shout out Matt and Jonathan.
Yeah. Shout out to them and maybe a wrap-up discussion, some reflections on that discussion.
When will this air?
This will air this Thursday, July 2nd, also Lydia's birthday, 2016.
Wow.
Which is 2 days ahead of our official 250th birthday for the great, exceptional country of the United States of America. But I think the physical signatures were done on July 2nd. But it was like, I think they signed, fact check me on that. But I think they signed on the 2nd.
Okay.
Or maybe they all agreed on the 2nd to the Declaration of Independence, and then they signed on the 4th. Something major happened on the 2nd in that Continental Congress. So, yeah.
Wow. I feel like we should do that. Should we pledge allegiance to the flag?
Yeah, we should pledge allegiance. My country 'tis of thee.
Get a bald eagle in here or something.
If you ever hear a sound effect of a bald eagle, it's not a bald eagle.
Man,
the bald eagle does not sound majestic.
Wow.
They override it with a red-tailed hawk.
That just ruins everything.
Same thing with a lion. They put a tiger. If you hear the lion go, that's a tiger, not a lion.
Wow.
Sorry to burst bubbles.
Media, it's a good example of media just warps your propaganda.
Yeah.
That's how it can get in. It's like, you might,
No, that's good. It seems like I'm going to say one other thing. Oh, I saw, you talking about, saying Pledge of Allegiance and stuff. I saw that Tim has me and him and Chris down.
Wow.
To lead next Sunday.
At the same time.
Well, if he puts that on there, it means he's wanting us to do some specials or something.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe we're going to have, My Country 'Tis of Thee, God of Our Fathers, or, I don't know, Battle Hymn of the Republic.
Yeah.
Songs that Jonathan will love for us to sing.
I was trying to think of just like some random country U.S. song, like just to throw in there, but and
I'll proudly stand
that's what I was thinking
next to you. That's what we should sing in church. We better get this going.
We gotta go.
All right. With that, let's take it to the next level.
Let's fire up that twangy music.
From the hearts of the Low Country in South Carolina,
it's the Take Two podcast, where we take theology to the next level. Reflections on our government panel.
First off, I liked the panel. That was fun.
I thought it was good.
I think it was good. Matt and Jonathan, fantastic. It's just always a fun time.
Yeah, and I think that it's one of those topics that we could talk about for a long time. You know, like even at the very end, I was like, I do have a question for
more,
Matt. But I think the question I had was, what do you do about parity? Which we might address in next Thursday's episode. Because we do have one other government-related episode in our sleeves. So good time. I thought it was good discussion. I was encouraged by it. We did. Yeah. I like to hear. You like to hear someone else basically saying what you think, maybe slightly different. Like, totally. That's great. You know, they agree on that, and so that was really good.
Love it.
But I will say one of my reflections was even right after we recorded, I was just thinking through the things we said because we recorded all three of them. You know, back to back. Was that there were times that I think primarily Matt and I voiced the disagreements, but maybe it would have been you two also on Matt's side. I don't know. It seemed like I was a little bit more on the on one side of the spectrum than the two of you, which is fine. But the places where we disagreed were not necessarily in general policy or general theory of government or how Christians should approach, but just what is the actual fact of a particular matter.
I think that's really good because I think even if values aren't exactly the same, they're pretty darn close.
Yeah.
They're like if you're looking at a spectrum, like we're probably all plotting at the same side with what we think is important fundamentally.
Correct.
And then, some of the facts of the matters. If you don't agree on the reality, then you are going to land in different places. And it is, speaking of tigers roaring and hawks for the eagles, like you might be like, no, I think that's a tiger. And you're like, no, it's a lion. If you don't agree on that,
it's exactly right. And one of the things, we didn't even talk about this in the panel, but when you were saying that, it just reminded me. You know, they had this panel. I think this was for the election.
Okay.
And again, I'm not going to try to weigh in on the facts of the matter. You can do your research and as best you can. But they had a whole bunch of pro Kamala, a whole bunch of pro Trump. This is before the election, and one of the Kamala supporters says, "Y'all are all fine for voting for a convicted felon and someone who's been found civilly liable for rape." I don't think he used the word rape. He used something that I think he's trying to avoid that word,
but imply.
But the phrase he said I thought was even more explicit. I'm like, we're not going to say that.
And
one of the Trump supporters said, "No, we don't agree with those findings. Like we disagree that those were legitimate things. So we don't think that he did those things or that he's guilty of the law. We think the law was misapplied in those felonies." So I'm not trying to say how you should believe on those two things, but that just highlights the disagreements on facts. Then you might disagree with how you might vote or how you might proceed in policy.
And to the point, if, like, I think we mentioned, like we talked about, was election stolen with votes?
Right.
If everyone agreed with that, I think more on the same side. You know what I mean? It's like everyone be on the same side versus like, I think that was overblown. Or like, maybe some votes were that way, but it wasn't consequential. That puts you in a different spot. And then you may be like, well, if it's there, it's like we would be much more aligned.
Yeah. That's exactly right. So you should go. I think Tim has this teaching, and I can't remember the three different F's. So if we had Tim here, he could tell us. But he talks about levels of disagreement.
Oh,
and
he does.
Factual disagreements is the most surface level. It's like everything else below that is the same, but we just disagree on facts. And maybe you've even seen this in your family. Like, you yelled at me. I didn't yell at you. Now we have a disagreement on facts. We may both agree that yelling is a poor taste and rude and therefore could be considered sinful. But, you might disagree on what is yelling or not. And then there's another one, and then there's another one below that where, and so that's out there. But
I think that's really good. And we mentioned it, like, things like media or social media or whatever it is really play. Yeah. They fire you up on this, and some of you can be like, okay, clearly they're overblowing that, but some of the more subtle things,
right?
And I think where a lot of people are at is they just don't know the facts, but they don't want to totally dismiss the other side. And they're like, well, what if that's true? Even though they don't know one way or the other. It does make it very challenging because there are the blatant wrong things, but a lot of little things.
Yeah, and I'll just throw this out there. If you're getting all of your information from Fox News or you're getting all of your information from CNN, probably neither one of those are healthy. And it's difficult. I'll be right there with you. It's difficult to find just arbiters of truth because really there's so much out there.
So much.
They're going to have to package it almost in one.
Totally.
And so there are some places. What's that? They send out like a little.
I don't know, but you guys talk
email.
John, I don't know this thing, but I've heard people talk about it.
Yeah, sorry. For the folks out there, but it's they really try to give a nonpartisan, like, here's the news, here are some verses that you might think about, and then they try to encapsulate that in a way. And maybe I remember that. I even have a coffee mug up there from them, but I can't think of it.
That's so great. And the other thing is you might have a source that they are really good about foreign policy, but maybe not as much on economics. I don't know everything, and they're taking a side. Right. And maybe things, I don't know, you can't even have one source do all the things right anyway. Even if maybe they're good on one thing, maybe not the other. Who knows?
Yeah, I think sometimes you have to go, this is what I believe, and kind of hold that loosely. And be like, I think this is it. Obviously, I'm not omniscient. I'm not God, so I don't know all of the details.
Yeah, that's right.
I think this is where the general smoke is leading me, so I'm going to assume there's this type of fire there.
And what makes it hard is that you hear, the South is so racist, and guess what? There are racists in the South. But maybe you're from England and you're in the South or wherever, and you're like, hey, I thought everyone was just yelling bad things all the time.
Right.
And they just like ranch dressing and Costco, and it's great.
Yeah.
And so it's like you can find the instances and make it seem like it's everywhere, even though that's probably not normal.
Right, yeah. I've really enjoyed all of
it's been so awesome.
Because the things that they find welcoming and attractive, I think I take for granted.
Yep.
Like someone was, they went someplace and this person just trusted them to pay a double bus fare on the way back because they couldn't give them change. He's like, don't pay me now because you may not have the same bus driver. Just pay the $10 you have now because it was $5 there, $5 back, and we'll count it good. And obviously, not every bus driver is going to do that.
Sure.
But just simple things like that where you have a fairly high trust society, then I think that's good.
And I'll be honest, I'm a huge Texas Roadhouse fan, and I've been seeing a lot about Texas Roadhouse. It's like, I got to get back there.
How have we never eaten at Texas Roadhouse together?
Dude,
we should have a double date there. Because whenever we ever take our family, they always look at us because it's 7.
Yeah.
And ever since COVID, their max seating is 6.
Man.
And I always go, well, you see Phoebe, she's so small, we can fit into a booth. And they go, oh, okay. And they'll look at us. But that day is approach. She's going to age out of that.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else to say on this first topic of just being gracious?
I think that's so good because I think all 4 of us are aligned on 95% of the most fundamental things. And then how it works out, it's like, hey, you want Texas Longhorns, Texas Roadhouse. It's like, that's all steak. Right. Or, it's like you have like different preferences. So I think that's good because I think it can seem like sometimes I think the people you disagree with the most are the people close to you because you're like, you know what I mean?
You're so close. Why can't you just believe exactly like I do believe?
You're like, they're off there, but it's like, really, you guys are very close.
Yeah. Okay. So, in general, have grace with people because you could be disagreeing very, quote unquote, violently with someone and have 90% of the things aligned. So, and then, just be gracious with people. Regardless of views, and go, okay, we can agree to disagree. Not that you can't have discussions. All right, point 2 was I listened back and I thought maybe we could give a stronger what's it called when you endorsement
there you go
of free market capitalism. you're like, everyone is like,
this is coming off of our first point. It's one of those things that like part of me like pushes back against a little bit, but like I love capitalism. I just push back against like the extremes of it where everyone just tries to lie, cheat, and steal to get their way kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully, but for the most part, capitalism's done me a lot of good. Like it's been very profitable, and every system, pros and cons. Mm-hmm. So part of me's like, oh, I don't like that, but overall, I like it much better than the alternative. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think when just hearing you say that, and you can tell me I'm wrong or not, I think maybe your generation, because we do probably has been so inundated with negative press against capitalism that is the knee-jerk reaction. Yes, just like there are racists in the South, there are crony capitalists, and that's not even crony capitalism. I say that, and you may not know what that means, but for both you, Zach, and the listeners out there, when I say crony capitalism, I mean, I'll give you an example. Our FDA and our I think FDA does agriculture too. Food and Drug Administration. There we go. Has this revolving door in its leadership between members of Monsanto, members of Kraft, members of General Mills, and so you have the government making rules that help these huge, drug and food conglomerates. That's crony capitalism.
Yes, yeah.
That's not free market. So that's explicitly starts leaning into socialism.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
So and I hate that, and I think you hate that too. Totally. And it feels like people are cheating, and they're and so
everything's rigged. No matter, and I think my generation and younger really do feel like there's nothing you can do. And just the rich people get richer, poor is going to get poorer.
Right.
And I think at some level, like that's your kind of my experience in life have been. Not that my life's been amazing and easy, but my experience is you show up to work on time.
Yeah.
You do what you're supposed to do. You'll probably get promoted and put because no one does that. Not no one. You might not be the CEO, but you're going to be recognized. It'll go good for you for most of the time. Maybe not every time, but it's like the bar's kind of low. That's all you have to do.
It is. You said a phrase, the rich get richer, the poor get poorer. And I told you this beforehand, but now I have to say, listen to a podcast like last week, a great podcast. So I normally talk about Stand to Reason.
Oh yeah,
with Greg Kokel.
Yeah,
this was actually STR Ask #STR Ask if you're looking that up, where Amy Hall and Greg Kokel, a faster format podcast. We should maybe consider doing that sometime. I don't know. They try to answer questions very quickly.
Yeah.
But this subject came up. And Amy actually addressed this phrase you used because she said, if you really look at it,
everyone's doing good.
Think everyone's doing better.
Right, I get
everyone's doing better. Like the absolute gap between the richest and the poorest is getting bigger, but it's like, you went from like someone making $100 and $1,000 or someone making $200 and $2,000. So that gap went up. But it's all going up.
We got like 3
together.
iPads and computers here. Probably not happening, 30 years ago. That's so totally understand that too. And that's good because it's hard to recognize. It's hard. I think you nailed it though with you just compare yourself to everything else.
Yeah.
I think it's confusing because everyone's, living on credit and stuff, debt anyway. I don't know. But it's good to have that perspective that it's like, everyone in America is like malnourished because they've got too much food, or you know what I'm saying? It's like not because it's I don't know, but that's a really good point. Things are generally for 99% of people much better.
Yeah. Yes, and I think that if you just have the walls in communist countries are to keep people in, and the walls in capitalist countries are to keep people out. Yeah. So, just do with that as you will. All right. So, but we could talk about the effects of capitalism, but are there any biblical principles that would say maybe capitalism is better? Because maybe even with all this wealth and stuff, you might go, well, there's still bad principles a part of it. But I think there are good principles. One, I think capitalism, preserves the idea of private property rights. That's all capitalists care about is private property. But one of the 10 Commandments is "Thou shalt not steal," which kind of implies that you own something. It's yours if you've gotten it. by paying for it.
Totally. And America does provide you, the United States provides you with like, even if it's like you might look at a place like Charleston and say like, I can't really have personal property because it's so expensive.
Yeah.
Like you can move to Memphis, Tennessee. You can move
Maybe
and have
Memphis.
opportunity if you need.
Bald Knob, Arkansas. You can buy property there.
Like you can go somewhere even if it's not like, I know that is a bummer. Like, oh, if you want to be in a high cost of living and you're like, well, 10 years ago it was easy. Now it's not. Well,
right.
Go, you've got that opportunity at least.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You're free to move about the country.
But I just wanted to say that too, because I think some people are like, I don't have that. My parents had it so easy.
Yeah.
And I've seen all these great things like, boomers just had the life. I love telling my dad that. What a life you had, just, And a lot of these memes and stuff are like, well, yeah, boomers, a lot of times we're working like 3 jobs. Or, it's like, it's not like it's glamorized. Like it was so easy, but it's like, it's kind of rough too. I mean, I don't know.
Second point, there's this idea of personal stewardship so that you are taking care of what's given to you. You have to upkeep your house. You got to upkeep your car. You got to be wise. The penny saved is a penny earned. Those types of things. Waste not, want not. All those things of being good stewards of what you're given because you're not guaranteed.
That's totally right.
Someone's not just going to hand you stuff.
And that's like the flip side is, which you hate, is there's pros and cons. I think running's fine and it's good, but the more and more you get like away from that personal property, you don't care about it.
Right.
You're like, my landlord's going to fix it, or you know what I mean? You kind of have a different view where you're, it goes hand in hand.
I think the right is always painted as if we/they don't care about poor people. Mm-hmm. But even in the very religious pilgrims that came over, very religious, like the start of the Puritans, they tried communism for a couple of years and nearly starved to death because it's like when your corn that you grow goes into the communal corn and you're looking over there at so-and-so and you think he's not pulling his weight. You're like, well, I'm not going to pull my weight either. And that's just our fallen nature.
It's like a time and place for those things. And you have to have such good motivation where maybe and you would know this more than anyone. I'm just thinking out loud. Like in the military, you have a little bit of that communal aspect, but you're very aligned on a goal where you're gonna like fight for your brother. Where like if it's like the economy, it's like you have a different attitude a little bit.
Yeah, I think communal in goals, but for personal items like your gun, your stuff,
you
like
still had that
all gets locked up. And if someone was out their gun, you're like,
it's a bad day.
Sorry, bro, you're learning a lesson today.
Yeah. That's
so
good.
Because
part of the strategy, right, is like you're gonna break people down. They don't have that personal identity, or you know what I'm saying? Like that's what you hear a lot.
That is true. Like you yes, that part is too, and you become
but it works
one
well
unit.
Because you're like fighting an enemy where. It's not the stakes aren't as high, presumably, even though the stakes are still high for your country to flourish. It just like falls apart differently.
Yeah, you could still get punished as a group, but individually, the guy who or gal who is slacking is going to get punished more. So as a group, you're encouraged to help the weak links along.
And good and strong communities. It's like it's so hard with how big our country is. It's like, man, I don't know if it's like this in Bald Knob. You go up to Brewer, Maine. It's like you go into the post office land, meets like 5 people that taught her at her school. It's like when you know people, you kind of know who the lazy people are who don't pull their weight, and you know the person who like they're doing everything they can. They need help. You kind of know the accountability's there.
Yeah, and I appreciate that because you go back to the story of Ruth and Naomi and Boaz looking at Ruth and saying, "Hey, leave some gleanings out for her. She's working hard." And so you have an individual property owner, you could say business owner, if we're going to translate that in today's terms, who is basically providing out of his surplus for someone who he sees working hard. And I think that's the way it should. I think it should be individuals helping out. Now the problem is that, we're gonna really deep dive here, but I think the government's taking so much of our earned income, distributing it through these programs. So I personally feel a lack of responsibility.
Yep.
Well,
right.
There's a government safety net out there, whether I agree with it or not. It's out there, so you should go use it. I'm not going to personally help you. So I kind of wash my hands of helping someone out individually. But then, too, I don't necessarily have the means that I would want to because the government has taken 35, 40% of my earning income to run itself. So I think that's both bad. Now, it could be the case if you have a very cold people who don't love the Lord, you give all that tax money back, and now no one's getting helped out because we're just miserly. So that would be the other end of the spectrum. That would be bad.
Yeah, it's good things to think through, because I think both, no matter what side you're on, it's like, man, if you could like fix a couple things, but I totally agree. It is a two-way street where you're like, I'm getting taxed so much. There's like no accountability, and it just gets worse and worse. As more people, it's hard. And then all of these organizations have like 20 million people working for them, getting salaries.
Yes.
You know, it's like so bloated. Yeah.
And I will say the funding for the common defense is in the Constitution. So.
There you go. And it's like, I mean, I don't know.
I just say that because I work for the government. So I feel I do get paid by the government. I do get paid by taxes, but I think my job is constitutional. Whereas I don't know that every government job is constitutional.
Yeah, you're right about that. And it's like all the money, it's like, I think this has been exposed a little bit, but it's like all the money that's been poured into like fighting homelessness, like in California. It's like insane. And it's like, you know, just not gonna, there's not an incentive to fix that. It's not really a money problem necessarily.
I don't know that it is a money problem or a let's get them the food and the shelter problem.
It's not
because if you don't recognize the underlying fallenness of man and the real need that's contributing to their homelessness, I think you're treating the symptom and not the cause. And sometimes people don't want the cause treated. And I know that sounds callous. I know how that sounds. There was a guy who came up out of homelessness, and he said the only thing that brought me out was me hitting rock bottom. And it's like when people gave me money from day to day, that just helped me survive. And I don't want that to harden my heart so that I don't care for people, but I also don't want to contribute to that lifestyle. I don't know. It's a hard.
It is tough.
Tightrope to walk.
What I do like about the United States as well, I wish we were bigger into states' rights, because I would love, it's like, hey, if you like California, move there. They got more control. If you like Arkansas or whatever, it's like, and there may be more stark differences. That'd be great. And then people can kind of like choose for where you want to live. If you want to pay a lot of taxes and maybe all of the parks or vice versa, it's like do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, that's exactly right. If you want to have more of a social, the idea was 13, now 15 simultaneous experiments running, and whichever experiment does the best.
Yeah.
And I know that people will say, well, California pays more taxes than Mississippi. Mississippi is a recipient of California, but California is in crazy debt. Maybe Mississippi is too. I don't know those types of things, but you could go choose what you wanted.
Yeah.
And that leads me in that, I think it was the second episode where I started railing on I think it's the 17th Amendment to the Constitution that changed senators from being elected by state legislatures to being elected popularly, and basically did away with the state's right to put two people up into, because we were, just a history lesson.
Yeah, let's do it.
Bicameral, which means two houses in our legislative branch. Legislative branch is supposed to be writing the laws of the land. They shirk off that duty sometimes because they don't want the political fallout. You just get so you get so frustrated. But the House of Representatives was so named because they were supposed to represent the people. They had 2-year terms. The people could get angry. They could get upset. They could fire you, get a different representative in there. The Senate was supposed to be representing the states.
Oh yeah, gotcha.
And so the state the senators from Maine, the senators from South Carolina, like they were there to represent the states' rights. And if you look in the Constitution, the 9th and 10th Amendment are basically turning over every power that the Constitution doesn't hold for the federal government over to the people and to the states. So, if I have something in here later on, but there are 3 justices right now on the Supreme Court that have ruled, and I wouldn't say that there are 6 politically conservative justices. There are 6 originalist justices on there, which that means that they look at the language, and regardless of their political beliefs or what's going on, they look at the language, the original language, the intent of the author, and they try to interpret the Constitution according to that intent.
Which goes a long way. Yeah,
that's that's the only way you can do it.
That's what you want.
Because if you can make the Constitution say anything you want, then the Constitution says nothing at all. And it's the same way with reading the Bible. If you can make the Bible say anything you want, then the Bible says nothing at all. And so you have these three gals who are liberal, not liberal. I mean, I think they are politically liberal, but they're liberal in the sense that they see the Constitution as having this penumbra and, well, this was never on the minds of the original founder. Like, all of that stuff was supposed to be left to the states and to the people. And they can decide.
And they can decide that. And that gives that diversity that you see on a very small level. But it'd be nice to see it like really flourish into like these distinctives.
Yeah. All right, we're just going all over. We're just having a good government civics 101 discussion. I love it. Some other things about capitalism. There's the dignity of labor. Like,
work is good.
It feels good to do some work and earn money for it.
Yeah.
Rather than just be given it.
Everyone's talking about with AI. That's like one of the next crises, like purpose, because you can't work.
Yeah. I saw someone say, we wanted AI to do our dishes and laundry so that we can focus on arts and crafts. But it's doing our arts and it was like arts and music or something like that. But it's doing our arts and music so we can focus on our dishes.
Dishes like, laundry. Totally.
Hopefully, I know I told you. If I said that before, it's just a good repeat for you. I think just some other things. We better move on from capitalism. It recognizes creativity, productivity, the capability of exercising wisdom and stewardism that God has endowed us, because we're image bearers. Like, so in the sense that just like God was creative in creating, He's given us that right, and capitalism, I think, helps stoke those fires.
I totally agree. Even to the point where you're kind of like, it's kind of stupid what this guy's doing, but he's making millions of dollars because you can be creative in that way.
Yeah. And I think the big thing is really everything is a free exchange. So no one forces you to go buy something. I mean, you may go, oh, I don't want oats at that price, or I don't want. I just saw an article about Doritos hiking their prices. Did you notice this? I don't guess I really noticed it. But it said Doritos, through the COVID era, went up to like $7 for their normal size bag. Their consumers were like, stop buying it. And now, even though Doritos is lowering their price again, consumers have found alternates. And so now they're like, we may have really messed up. But you do have everything is a free exchange, and someone can, in theory, provide a product that at a lower price, and you can go, I want that exchange. And so no one forces you to buy stuff. So,
and there's been so many of those like direct to consumer products over like the last 15 years where it's like, hey, here's Harry's razors or whatever, and it's like, you can get them for cheaper because they're cutting out that middleman.
All right. We've already. So I guess we should move off of capitalism, talk about stronger appreciation for constitutional republic. We've already really kind of dabbed into this because we talked about the states' rights and the Supreme Court. But Scripture teaches the necessity of civil government. We went over that at the very beginning, and also the fallenness of both the subjects and the rulers in a government.
Yeah, that's really good. Not to get into politics, I know, like too specifically, but man, Lindsey Graham gets selected like all the time. Everyone I talk to has a disfavorable opinion.
I love Lindsey Graham.
No one likes him, but overwhelmingly, like, he wins. I'm just like, it's very confusing.
I have not voted for Lindsey Graham in a primary, and I think I voted against him in some general elections as well. 2 or 3, 4 election cycles.
But it's so crazy. I know I don't have like an accurate representation of my daily life, but like it's like almost like everyone I talk to, whether it's like patients or coworkers, people at church, everyone's like, Lindsey Graham, and then they have like some I don't want to get into it too much, but things to say about him. And it's like, who's voting for this guy?
Man, that is one thing. I think we should lower the barrier to serve in public office. I don't know how that happens. I don't know what that looks like. There's so much money and power controlling that these days. I think, I shared this with you off camera, that probably Lindsey Graham funds, like 2 or 3 of those because it was like Lindsey Graham and 6 other people.
Yeah.
If it had been Lindsey Graham and one other person, maybe everyone would have piled on to that other person because we don't want Lindsey Graham there. But when it's like this sea of other people in the primaries, maybe he funded 3, like just pollute the field so that I can get the majority. I don't know. I'm not saying he did that, but if I were someone who's striving to stay in office, I might do that. But I'll just say, Christians, go vote in your primaries. That's where if you're not satisfied with your party of choice's candidate in November, well, do something about it in June and July when your primaries are going on. I don't know. We have some notes here. I know we're getting up close to our time. We talked about the Constitution, the need to read it in its original writings. I think the constitutional republic, it stops. Well, one thing is, if you ask most people what type of government we have, what are they going to say?
Oh, they say like democracy. Yeah.
And we don't have a democracy. We have a constitutional republic, and then
that is funny. That everyone's like, hey, we all get a vote. It's democracy.
When's the last time you voted on a bill? Oh, I've never voted on a bill. Okay, so
this
it's
is
not democracy.
Yeah.
We do have
Wouldn't that be wild?
Representative democracy. So we vote for people to represent us in our, our executive and legislative branches. We don't get to vote directly for judges. Maybe on some local judges, you get to vote directly for them. But the importance of the Constitution, it gives us a legal framework. Thankfully, I think our Constitution is pretty good. Not perfect, but pretty good. It gives us written charter that establishes authority, it limits authority, distributes authority. So you have a federal government. Even within the federal government, we have 3 branches. Within the judicial branch, you have the Supreme Court, then you have some appellate courts below that. Within the legislative branch, you have the 2 different houses, and then you're just supposed to have 1 executive. Obviously, I think they always thought he was going to have some type of cabinet.
Oh yeah.
But you may, if you've been listening and you've heard me complain, maybe I'll stop complaining after this episode. Maybe not. Maybe I'll keep complaining. But all of the different, I call them the ABC things: FDA, FAA, EPA. BAFT, you can just go down the list, FCC. Like, those are things that technically fall under the executive branch. Those are all things that the president, whether you like him or not, whether he's your party or not, has total sway over. ICE. Some of the things they can do are written through the legislation, but most of it is controlled directly by the executive branch. And I don't think our founding fathers ever saw the president having that much sway and power. And so you see these executive orders that can just swing. We were talking about this in the last episode.
Yeah.
ICE is one of those. I think it's in the Department of the Interior, but I could be wrong. Maybe it's moved to DHS now, Department of Homeland Security. But wherever, it is Department of Homeland Security now. I think it may have used to be in the Interior. But a president can just, without ever a law changing, totally change the outlook of our immigration policy by enforcing what's there, not enforcing what's there, choosing what you're going to do. And a president shouldn't have that power.
Yeah, pros and cons for sure. And it seems like the executive branch is growing, the power is growing. And, on the positive side, it's negative side, things take a minute sometimes to get done. But that's also a positive too, where it's not but when you have all the power in the executive branch, it doesn't take a minute. It's then you can just swing it without going through channels.
In your first 100 days of office, you can change the whole outlook of what our country's doing. And that shouldn't be the case.
Right, yeah, because then it becomes a battle. Like you're saying, the first 100 days is probably just undoing the last guy's, or back and forth. It's a lot of, because he was doing the same thing, and Yeah,
and I'm not suggesting that elections shouldn't have consequences, to quote the Supreme Court Chief Justice from 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago, 10 years ago. But I am saying that it shouldn't have that big of a consequence. That one guy or gal shouldn't be able to just totally, because that should be done through law, and it should take both the House of Representatives and the Senate agreeing on it, and then the president signing it, and then it goes into law, and then we have these steady things.
Yeah.
We don't have these wild swings where you feel like
are crazy.
Yeah.
And a good example, and we know where we are running along, like student loans is like for a lot of people, it was like, oh, the outlook's looking so great. You make major changes to your financial, and then it's like all that goes away 6 months. It's like very up and down. We're like, oh, I thought I signed like a contract with the government. I can't change my side, but they can change their side of this contract. It was like, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Where it can leave you. And fortunately for that kind of stuff, they usually like grandfather people, and it's like within reason. It's not like you don't have to enroll in all the things, but still, swings crazy.
Separation of powers. We talked about things being evil. Think about, we are actively talking about how one guy shouldn't have all the power, and he doesn't have all the power. Obviously, he can't do everything, but that's why we have separation of powers. And we're saying he shouldn't have as much powers as he does. Some of that power should still be in the checks and balances of 3 different branches. But when you have sinful people, they're going to make bad choices. I would like to think I could handle all of that power and it would never corrupt me. But I don't know.
Yeah, I know. It's a lot.
I might have a lot of different tubas on the government
And it's like, even if you're not corrupted, it's like so much coming at you.
Yeah.
Like maybe you're like the expert on, maybe you're overwhelmed. Maybe you're really good on like 80% of the issues. There's no way you're like the expert on everything, and you're just relying on advisors at some point. You're like, I trust this guy. This is probably good to do. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think America is a great country.
Yeah. It's great.
Happy 250th birthday to America. Wow. You want to sing the Star Spangled Banner for us?
Hold that. One thing that makes America great is what you got on your left there, what you've been drinking. Hold that up to the camera. It's got the flag kind of in there. Some Diet Mountain Dew.
It is a Diet Mountain Dew with the American flag. Who was it that was commenting on that? And I was like, well, I think it's in support of our 250th birthday. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Like they thought that was just like their normal,
just like Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah, great country. It's like good. I'm very critical of the United States, but I think it's good that I can be. I mean, you know what I mean? Where it's like, I really like the United States. It's the same thing. It's like when someone's on your team, you're a little bit tougher on them. You know what I mean? It's just good to have that step back, have that perspective. Great situation. Not perfect. A lot of bad things going on, but. Comparatively, not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah. Maybe we should go into the last take.
Oh, yeah, last take. Time for that. Yeah.
But can I start that off with a joke that Ronald Reagan used to tell?
He was a great comedian, yeah.
Yeah, based on what you just said.
Yeah, go for it.
He said that there was this Soviet and this American talking, and they're talking about the differences in their government, and the Soviet was like, why do you love America so much? And the American's like, I can walk in to my government's office and I can pound the desk and I can say, I do not approve of what President Ronald Reagan is doing. And the Soviet guy's like, I can do the same thing. I can walk into my government's office and pound the desk and say, I do not approve of what Ronald Reagan is doing.
That's good. That's very, very, very true. And the perspective is just not there where it's like, I mean, I haven't spent a lot of time in these other countries, but, you just don't know what you don't know, like how swift or, you hear all this stuff in England where it's like, oh, you like someone's tweet and you're in jail. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or you retweeted it and it's worse and you're like, it almost seems so crazy. I know it's happening, but it's like, I can't believe that. I can't believe that.
I've read on some places where, there's a lot of people in England who are using a virtual private network, VPN, to hide that they are tweeting or whatever from England. To try to elude being captured, which is crazy to me.
You know what they should do? They should revolt against their government and call their place New America.
New America.
Like, do like a switch instead of New England. It's like New. It's like
because obviously there are some cases of speech in America that are unlawful. Speech where there's actual threats. Speech where the classic example is yelling fire in a theater. Where you are, causing harm through your speech, but like those are limited examples. But the speech that needs to be protected the most is unpopular speech. Like if someone says, well, all speech is fine except for what's vulgar or what is disagreeable, and as a Christian, I have to stand up and say, even though I don't agree with it, you should be able to, flip off a police officer because that's free speech. Because if my government can say that's not free speech, then giving the gospel cannot be free speech as well.
It's a two-way street.
Yeah. But back to the VPN. There are people who are changing that don't live in England, changing to England and then saying stuff to try to overwhelm their nanny task force. So
I love it.
I'm not suggesting you do that, but if you have a VPN, you want, I don't even know what would raise a red flag or whatever. I'm sure they can tell that you're from wherever.
Yeah,
man. Yeah. But I don't know that it seems like we said we're going into the final take, but we're still talking about government, so we can't get away from it.
Can't get away.
So you went swimming today?
I did. Got my towel, got my swimsuit on, made a beeline from the pool here, It's been
I see you're wearing your
take it to the next level.
Take it to the next level.
There you go.
Podcast tank.
Paraphernalia,
Reformed MD, I have not forgotten about getting in there. I was wearing my Give Hate a Chance shirt.
Oh yeah.
On the way back from Arkansas.
Nice.
I was in Buc-ee's, and this lady looked at me, and then she just kept going, and I thought, did she just look at the front? Because there have been people who have said something about the front, and I've had an opportunity to say, there's a back. That's it, if you, I was like, do you like hate evil things?
Oh yeah.
Well, that's what this verse is saying. Like you should hate. Yeah. You should hate what's evil. But I didn't get that chance, and it would be awkward for me to go, "Hey, were you looking at my shirt?"
So that's great. There you go, Buc-ee's, man. You guys stop at Buc-ee's. You guys have where's the Buc-ee's entrance?
Leeds,
where's that?
Alabama.
Nice. Yeah. There you go. In driving from Orlando to Charleston, you pass like three or four Buc-ee's. It just like you pass one, it's like 20 miles, another Buc-ee's. You're like, I don't know but both are super busy. Man.
Yeah, from here to Arkansas, there's one, and it's almost exactly halfway. It's like that's at that 6.5 hour mark. So
can't beat it. Yeah.
Seems like I'm going to say one other thing, but I can't. I thought of another shirt idea today.
Wow. Yeah.
Joel was preaching from Matthew 7.
Okay.
And he was talking about, the people that says, Lord, Lord, didn't we do all these things? And he's going to say, I never knew you, and cast them out into utter darkness. He goes to 1 Corinthians 6, that famous passage where it says, don't be deceived, neither all these types of people are going to inherit the kingdom of God, but such were some of you, but you've been washed, you've been transformed.
Okay.
So, shirt idea, you tell me if it's a bad idea, but you could have on the front, trans by Christ, and then have that verse on the back.
No, because what would happen, I bet you would have, I can even see, a trans person being like, man, love that, thank you. And then you turn around, I can see that, and I think it's people very hateful. It would be very provocative, which...
Yeah. So if you want a trans by Christ shirt, let us know. We can put it in
that fits with that verse so well with the transformed and all the different things. Yeah. That is thinking, man, because that would get some conversations, because on both sides, people be like, what the heck, you call yourself a Christian? You'd be like, no, back of my shirt, we're good. And then other people would be looking for validation. You get every conversation going.
Yeah. So maybe James. That would be a shirt James would
like. There we go. Yeah.
He likes the provocative shirts.
James's son, Daniel.
Yeah.
Was hanging out with Jordan today. How old? I don't know. I'm sure they're similar ages. They're both little kids. I'm not good with kids. Yeah. And they were talking to each other, and this is shout out to James. Daniel's like, hey Jordan, I got a cool guy I want to introduce you to. It's my dad. And I was like, that was pretty funny. Yeah, that's good.
That's good.
Good parenting, James. Good parenting. Son really thinks you're a cool guy. So that's good. A lot of changes.
Better wrap.
We got to wrap. So? 48 minutes in.
48 minutes. Some of that is a little extra, but not a lot. So, all right. Well, thank you for hanging in there with us. Happy 4th of July.
That's right.
I want to say go be great, because that's what our principal always says, but that's our take.
Thanks for listening to Take 2. Find us wherever you find podcasts and on YouTube for those who want to watch our videocast.